Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome to the Sports Room. In today's episode, we're going to take a deep dive into the NFL schedule, what you can expect, what we're most excited for, and so much more. Stick around. Hope you enjoy the episode. NFL schedule came out a couple weeks ago. Well, I think about last week now, and the Lions are kicking off against the Chiefs. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like everyone is. I feel like. Bro, it's crazy because last year you didn't have a single primetime game, and now you're kicking off the season like the biggest primetime game. Do I think they deserve it? Probably, because bro, they won 8 games in a row last year. They won 8 games in a row to end the season, and they've added some really interesting pieces. And bro, Dan Campbell's a superstar, man. He's someone that you want to see on your TV at all times. You know what I'm trying to say? And they're a good team. Like, obviously, it irks me that they're in my division, but I'm more of an NFL neutral anyway. Obviously, I like my Vikings, but I appreciate good football. And even Star Player will tell you, I've always wanted the Lions to do well. Jared Goff is a quarterback that I really like. Yeah. Obviously, they could have done Chiefs versus Bengals. They could have done Chiefs versus Eagles. They could have done Chiefs versus Bills, which are obviously all a lot more exciting games. I feel like the NFL's done something a little bit different with this one, and I'm not too angry about it. I was very surprised, but I'm not too angry about it. What you guys thinking? How you guys
We'll let Star Player go, I guess.
Star Player, you kick us off. How does it feel being the team that's kicking off the NFL for us?
It's weird.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, honestly, bro, I genuinely can't, because we are historically known as losers. We don't get stuff right. Maybe one year we'll have a good year, and then the next 5 years we're the same old Lions. But just starting off on Hard Knocks last year, starting the season 1-6, ending the season 9-8, was like one of the most fit teams going into the playoffs. I wish if we weren't made it. And then, like you said, the characters we've got Dan Campbell, that coaching staff. It was weird, man. Honestly, like, I was as surprised as you guys say when they picked the Lions to host. The Chiefs to host the Lions for the first game, because I'm like, we are a good side, but I feel like it's just the media. You know, like, what's it? Is it GMTV? GMB or what's it called?
Good Morning Football.
It's called that.
GMFB.
But where they hype us up. Like, a lot of players, the additions we've added, it's scary. It's scary, man.
No, I feel like defense with Emmanuel Mosley.
Sounds like a setup.
Emmanuel, I feel like this. On my life, I feel like they're just having, bro. Patrick Mahomes just show us something. It's one of them ones. You know what I'm trying to say. But we'll find out how for real. We'll find out at the end of the day if the Lions put up a fight. We'll know the Lions are for real in the NFC. If they don't, same old Lions. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So at the end of the day, for the NFL, it's a win-win. Because either you see Patrick Mahomes put on a show, or you see a real player in the NFC. So it's for the NFL, from their perspective, it's a win-win.
For me as well, regarding the Lions, I'm not scared. I'm not scared in terms of we put up points against anyone. We put up against Eagles. All defenses, like, that's the least of my worry is our offense. It's
I was writing an article about the Lions last week, and I think you guys were top 3 in every offensive category last season, behind the Chiefs and the Eagles. Like, points scored, yards, touched, like in every aspect. So it was like 3rd overall in offense is crazy, considering you didn't even make the playoffs. Like, it was
how bad bro, literally, and playing against them, I know the Chiefs' defense is decent, but they've lost Frank Clark as well. So I feel like it'll be a gunfight, bro. And literally, we're gonna go there scoring points. It's all about, like you said, how our defense plays, because we basically have a brand new secondary. I think the only player we've got is Jerry Jacobs,
Emmanuel Mosley,
Tracy Walker, and
CJ Gardner-Johnson. Emmanuel Mosley. Like, there's some ballers in there. Definitely got some ballers in there.
I'm excited because I want to see how Jack Campbell plays against Travis Kelce, though. That's the matchup I want to watch.
EJ is a great pickup, though. By the way,
it won't end well.
I know it won't.
I think that's a great pickup.
Nah, if you ask me, I feel like this. Like, do you not remember last season? Like, the first game of the season, the Chiefs were playing the Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, Tyreek Hill is gone. Everyone's curious how the Chiefs gonna do. And if you recall, the Cardinals made the playoffs the year before, innit? So everyone's thinking like, like, let's see what the Chiefs are looking like, and they smoked them. I feel like it might be a very similar situation where the Lions, there's a lot of optimism, and once that game starts, all that optimism I got out the window.
Yeah,
I
but
feel like,
Chalala, one team's coached by what's his name, Cliff Kingsbury. The other one's coached by Dan Campbell. Who motivates you more?
no, I hear it, but motivation can only do so much when Patrick Mahomes is throwing it with his back facing the other side. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
That's true.
it'll be a good game. It'll be high scoring. Similar to what Salah said, I thought it was a bit of a strange selection considering the other options I could have gone for.
They could
but
have
it'll be a
replayed
very
the
high
Super
scoring
Bowl,
game
bro.
because the
Like,
Lions,
they could have replayed the
Yeah, the
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl,
They could have done. They could have replayed the AFC Championship. They could have done the Bills. Like, they could have had options. So
their game, hella game. But we'll see. And I feel like Jameson Williams, if he can stay healthy,
I think he's
might really
suspended.
break
I
out
swear
this
he's suspended.
Yeah, but
Isn't Jameson Williams suspended?
First 6 games.
How many games? Yeah, he's suspended for 6 games.
Wait, how many games?
6 games.
6. First 6.
Wait, what
He
did
did something.
He
did
done the
something.
gambling.
He done the gambling.
Yeah.
the gambling thing. That's nice.
Someone called Calvin Ridley.
Calvin Ridley. That's
The worst thing about that is they caught him doing it in the facility. At the facilities where they caught him lacking.
in the facility.
That's the weirdest thing. In the facility.
He was moving, man.
He got caught. He got caught.
Are there any games you guys are
gambling,
looking
yeah.
forward to? Are there any specific games you guys are looking forward to?
Opening weekend.
The first couple of weeks, like week 1 to 4. Are there any like?
First couple of
Yeah.
weeks.
I'll have to double.
I'll have to look
Right,
at
so
it.
I think.
I can give
I
you
think Buffalo,
a few
New
games
York.
because I've jotted some down in it. Jets versus Bills week 1, Monday Night Football, the first Monday Night Football game.
Monday Night Football.
Jets versus the Bills, Aaron Rodgers versus Josh Allen. Week 2, the game that I'm looking because Lamar's gonna win their first game. He's probably gonna go for like 700 yards in that game. It's the Houston Texans versus so that game's not gonna show you anything about the Baltimore Ravens. The second game against the Cincinnati Bengals, a divisional game, week 2, like after Lamar's just got his money, like the Bengals are always an AFC favorite now. That's gonna be a massive game. And third game I'm looking forward to is week 4, Kansas City versus the Jets. Like Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes. Those are specific games that.
Hopefully they finally play each other because the last 2 times they were meant to play each other. The first time Mahomes was injured, second time Rodgers was injured. So hopefully this time they're actually both on the field. So that should be good.
Yeah. No one wants to see Zach Wilson versus Patrick Mahomes in week 4. Like, let's be honest. Yeah. I don't mind facing him. It'll give me two easy wins next season. But listen, I was gonna say though, one of the games we missed. I know it's not gonna be like a prime time game, obviously. But week 1, Miami and the Chargers. I think that's going to come late in the season. So I'm thinking both the Philadelphia Cowboys games. So obviously they play twice. I think it's like week 9 or week 14. And Kansas City, Philadelphia is one I'm looking forward to as well. So I think those are the ones that stand out to me the most. Buffalo and the Jets too as well. I'm just more concerned about the fact that, and we'll talk about the AFC East at some point in Salad, but I think Rodgers won't get to as fast a start as I think people think he will. And I think what doesn't help is that they didn't get an offensive tackle in the first round of the draft. That's obviously because, Bill Belichick's a genius and traded his pick to the Steelers to get Broderick Jones, who I think would have done a massive help for the Jets. But I think those are the ones that really stand out to me the most. And obviously the Lions and the Chiefs are this because, we'll see if Jared Goff can beat the Chiefs. But yeah, those are the ones that I'm
Hey, we remember the Rams Chiefs game, man.
Hey, you guys win. Star player might change his dark horse to the Lions,
The Lions.
I'll never bet on my team, man. I know how it ends all the time.
So this
I
one
hope that
Exactly,
we have
man.
a particularly interesting. Yeah. So this next question or topic, I feel like Chalala has the biggest leg to stand on. Like, so this one you can kick us off with this one. How do you think the rookie quarterbacks are going to do this year? Which one of them do you think is going to start? We can go through the top 4. There was 4 quarterbacks taken in the first 33 picks. Will Levis didn't have to wait long. Under normal circumstances, he would have been the first pick in the second round, but obviously Miami was stripped off their first round pick. But yeah, How do you think the quarterback's gonna go? Do you think Anthony Richardson starts week 1? If he does, how do you think it's gonna go? CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. How do you think? Like, talk us through it, man.
Got you. So starting with obviously Anthony Richardson, me being a Colts fan, like I'm very optimistic. Do you know what I'm saying? He's got all the physical tools. Like he's like a mixture of like Cam Newton. He's got a bit of Lamar Jackson to it as well. But obviously he only played 13 games in college. Do you know what I'm saying? And like when you can see there's still a lot of things that he's gonna have to learn in it. So I don't think he will start. Obviously we don't know how training camp's gonna go, but I highly doubt he starts. So I think Gardner Minshew will probably start for the Colts. But by a week, maybe halfway through the season, I think we might see Anthony Richardson. So yeah, like the expectations, everyone for the Colts, like the expectations are literally very low.
But don't you think the best way
Yeah,
for
he
him
only
to
played
learn?
13 games in college.
Don't you think the best way for him to learn would be to just throw him in there and let him figure it out on the spot? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because no one's expecting you lot to do to be incredible
I
this
hear
season
it.
anyway. As you said,
Yeah.
you've only played
Like,
13
there's no
games.
pressure.
You've only
Yeah.
played 13 games in college. It's not like he's Bryce Young where he's gonna get beaten up if he because he's small. Like the physical tools, he'll be able to make plays for you regardless. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I think for that reason and the coaching changes that you guys have made, you've got quarterback gurus everywhere. I feel like Anthony Richardson probably starts week 1 and takes it from there, in my opinion. Just for those reasons.
I hear what you're saying. I don't like it. Wouldn't be. No, you're right. Like it wouldn't be a terrible thing. Like obviously, as a fan, I want to see him play, but I just feel like they're gonna, take it slow. We're not in a hurry. Like you said, we're not contending. Realistically, we're not contending this season. Do you know what I'm saying? So they might just say, you know what, just let him learn from Gardner Minshew. Obviously, we saw what Shane Steichen did with Jalen Hurts last year. So yeah, I think they're trying to emulate that same process. So just slow it down for him completely. But I feel like halfway through the season, we'll see him play. And we can only be optimistic because after the last few years switching quarterbacks, it can't get worse in it. So I'm quite optimistic.
Obviously, this is a conversation for another day, innit?
Regarding the other
I'll say this is a conversation for another day, innit? But I understand why the Colts kept switching quarterbacks because you had a team everywhere else that was good enough to win. So you're just trying to get someone that can make enough plays. So I understand why you were switching, trying to find quarterbacks, etc., etc. But yeah, sorry, Karen.
Nah, I hear it. Thanks.
Carson Wentz. Damn, man.
Fam, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Philip Rivers, like we were just, that Andrew Luck retirement set us back 5-6 years. But
and the maddest
what
thing
can
is,
we do,
the
you know
maddest
what I'm
thing is,
saying?
he retired the one time when he had a team.
When the team got good.
Bro, 7 years he was behind an offensive line that couldn't. You know what I'm trying to say? He was the most hit quarterback in ever. The one
And
time he had the
Quentin
best
Nelson
offensive
arrives.
line, he goes, "Bro, listen, I'm done, bro. I can't do this." So,
It's so depressing. Yeah, I don't even like speaking about Andrew Luck in it. Like it's so sad, fam, because I keep thinking, imagine if Andrew Luck was still here, but such is life, innit? But yeah, now regarding the other quarterbacks that you mentioned, I genuinely feel Bryce Young will probably be the best, just because one, he's in the best situation, and two, I feel like when you watch him, he's clearly the best quarterback. Like I was hoping all these talk about he's short, he's small. I was hoping he'd fall to the Colts at number 4 in it, but yeah, these bastards, they weren't falling for that trick. So yeah, and obviously Frank Reich being a former quarterback himself, and like if you actually watch all the quarterbacks we've had over the last few years with the Colts, Philip Rivers was terrible with the Chargers his last year. Come to the Colts, we make the playoffs. Like Andrew Luck came off the injury, he didn't play the year before that. Frank Reich, we made the playoffs. Carson Wentz, obviously the Eagles let him go. We should have made the playoffs.
Last game of the
He
season.
fumbled in it, so I feel like Frank Reich. Say that again.
Yeah, last game of the season, man. I remember.
Was
Bro,
it Jacksonville?
yeah,
Jacksonville.
I feel like,
Yeah, that was.
bro, we're cursed with that team. I just feel like Frank Reich is a quarterback guru, do you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, Bryce Young's in the best situation. CJ Stroud, it's going to take a while, innit? The Texans, it's a bit of they're far from contending, you know what I'm saying? So I feel, he'll probably struggle in it, but he's got the talent. It might just take a few years. So that's my overview of the whole quarterback class.
About
Will Levis won't play. He's probably like 3rd on the depth chart.
really,
Oh, I think second.
I don't think he's
Malik
third.
Willis
In
has
the
that.
depth
I
chart.
wanna
I
say
think there's no
second.
way he's third.
I think Malik Willis
Yeah,
has no
I
future.
feel like they have him. I feel like they have him above Malik Willis.
That's what the coach. Those are my words, didn't it? That's what the coach said. But obviously, coaches like every time, innit?
Yeah,
I don't
nah,
think Tennessee like Malik Willis.
But yeah, they don't. I feel like they don't. I feel like they had to pick him because they needed a young quarterback. But once they saw him play, I don't think they're big fans of him. That's why they They took another quarter. Like Will Levis, I feel like Will Levis gets into this, like plays a decent number of games this year, bro. The reason he fell so much was.
What's your expectation of him?
What's my expectations of him? What, sorry?
Yeah, what's your expectation of like when he plays? Like, what do you make of Will Levis?
I think the reason he fell so much is because of how he interviewed. That's what a lot of teams are saying. Like a lot of insiders are saying he was so cocky and he was entering interviews as if
Talking.
yeah, like he bought into the hype of he's the second best quarterback. He should be going second overall after, because everyone knew, like for the last year and a half, everyone knew Bryce Young is going number one this year. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So that was out of the question. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It was like Trevor Lawrence. We knew when Trevor Lawrence decides to come into the NFL, Trevor Lawrence is going to be the number one pick. So Will Levis bought into the hype of Will Levis. I'm gonna go top 5. I'm gonna go top 5. But then as soon as the Colts picked a quarterback, and Stroud was taking the Texans, no other team needed a quarterback. So unless someone came back in, you know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like Will Levis is a good quarterback. I feel like the best thing that could have happened to him was dropping out of the first round, because it's going to humble him and he's going to be like, now I've got a chip on my shoulder. You feel me? So I feel like I'm not going to tell you, I think out of the 3, out of the 4, he's probably going to be the least productive. I feel like the other 3 will all be better than him, but I feel like he's at least an adequate NFL starter for the Tennessee Titans. At least, I think he can be a good.
Should I say,
good
Salah, before you get on to the next point? I feel like you can even put him 5th. You know, I think Stetson Bennett will get the job off Matt Stafford during the season, and I feel like reading reports. Like, they're really high on Stetson Bennett. Like, the way apparently they've been talking about him in training camp, like the way he can throw the ball and all that stuff. And what better position for Stetson Bennett to be under Sean McVay and that offense? So I feel like he's got a better edge. For me, I think he's got a better edge than Will Levis. Like, I feel like Tennessee will chuck Will Levis into games when Tannehill's not being Tannehill, but I think Stetson Bennett is much more of a safer bet in terms of when playing. I feel like Will Levis will throw a lot of picks and all that stuff. I'm not clearly, you guys can see I'm not high on Will Levis.
When you said he's 5th, I thought you were going to choose your own quarterback that you drafted, Hendon Hooker, who, if he didn't struggle with injury,
apparently the red shirt.
I mean, understandably so, because he's coming back.
He's like 26, man.
He's gonna get red shirt.
Yeah. But it's because Hendon Hooker, if he wasn't injured the last year, he could have been picked a lot higher. He's a very, very talented quarterback. So
what he was doing for Tennessee this year.
Nah, I put a big number still.
Yeah, bro. Before he tore his ACL, I thought, you know what? Second rounder easy, even though at his age, but like you said, his mobility, he's got wheels. Like I think he's just a way more matured Anthony Richardson kind of thing. Like, but that's about it. Yeah,
I think age was the reason why him and Bennett dropped lower.
Exactly.
Yeah, them man are pension. Them man are 30 years old still in college. Shout out to them, they made it. Like, they made it eventually.
Kurt Warner Jr.'s, man.
Hey. Oh, that's hilarious. The next thing I wanted to get onto was Mohammed. I'm gonna start with you, because obviously you didn't say much in the last point in it, because you got Mac Jones and then man there.
Okay. Can I quickly do those rankings?
Which rankings?
Go
for it. Go for it.
Quarterback, just quickly, because I've got Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, and then I've got Will Levis, like at the very, very bottom of the list, because any guy that puts mayonnaise in his coffee does not deserve to be anywhere near the rest of those quarterbacks. So I just want to put that out there. That's atrocious, man.
That's the reason.
Bro, when I saw that video, I said, yeah.
The reason he fought so hard to tell us his rankings was so he could talk about the mayonnaise thing, innit?
Oh man, I'm glad he didn't get picked up on day one, man. I didn't want to hear that nonsense. Yeah, but yeah, that's my rankings.
The next thing I wanted to go to was, bro, there's some crazy offensive units in the league, bro. Like, every team seems to have 2 or 3 insane weapons, bro. quarterback aside, what weapons group, wide receiver, tight end, etc., who's at the top of you guys' list? You got Miami that have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. You've got the Philadelphia Eagles, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, the Minnesota Vikings. We got TJ Hawkinson, Addison now, Justin Jefferson. You got Jamar Chase, T Higgins, like Joe Mixon. Like, what are we saying? I mean, you even got the 49ers, Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk,
yeah.
George Kittle as well. So, I mean,
Raheem
who's at the
Mostert.
top of you guys' list for Raheem Most? I mean, no, he's
I've
in Miami
got-
now, I swear.
I'm sticking with the Eagles. You said quarterback aside, but I'm going obviously with the fact they've got Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert, and that offensive line. I think as a unit, and DeAndre Swift coming in, and what's his name, Miles Sanders, and I think Boston Scott's still there.
Mark
But-
Sanders like Carolina.
Miles Sanders went to Carolina.
Okay, so Boston Scott's still there, right?
Yeah.
I think they've
They
got
added
pretty.
Rashad Penny. Added Rashad Penny.
Rashad Penny from the Seahawks as well, yeah, and DeAndre Swift from obviously your Lions. So I'm going with them. I think good running back core, great receiver core, great O line, great tight end in my opinion. Dallas Goedert. I that's minus the quarterback. So then when you add Jalen Hurts to that, it's just an offense on crack. So I'm sticking with them. I mean, you could go with the Bengals, you can go with the Chiefs. Dolphins are the ones that scare me the most because of the speed at wide receiver. And I think they recently picked up some guy who was a track runner as well. So that's just going to add more like length and speed for them. That separates between them and the defenders and gives a lot of time, as long as the O-line is good enough to where they can throw and they can do some real damage in their game. So I'm sticking with that. But probably, yeah, the Eagles.
Can I throw in a quick name?
Mm-hmm.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. Calvin Ridley coming back. Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Evan Ingram, and Travis Etienne.
Etienne.
But I feel like hell of them, man, are just like above average. Like it's a good collection of like decent
No,
players. I feel like
Calvin
we don't have a lot of
Ridley,
standout
Calvin
players.
Ridley,
Other than
Calvin Ridley's incredible.
Other than Calvin
yeah,
Ridley.
and Travis Etienne is explosive.
Yeah, I like. We'll see.
I mean, the Jets as
Like
well.
I feel like it's a decent core.
But Garrett Wilson, I think, is
No, I
fantastic.
would have put the Jets in there.
And Brees Hall.
What? Miko Hardman, Garrett Wilson, Aaron Lazard.
Alan Lazard,
mean,
yeah.
Like,
Alan
yeah,
Lazard, sorry.
But I feel like it doesn't compare to the other.
Yeah, no, of course.
The other man
Of
that
course.
you mentioned.
Obviously,
first.
once you start adding quarterbacks, you got Aaron Rodgers throwing to them. You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, even the
I just
Ravens.
wanna
for
put
the
it out
first
there that,
time for the-
No, go ahead,
God.
Sad.
No, I'm saying even
I
for
was
the,
gonna
like,
say,
the
I was gonna
first
put it out
time,
there.
the Ravens, you take out Lamar Jackson, bro, Odell Beckham, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Devin Duvernay, Rashad Bateman, like there's some good, like finally. But yeah, sorry, Mohammed, go on.
No, I was just gonna say before. Listen out. I just want to put it out there. There's a guy who recently moved from the Super Bowl champions that was instrumental in the final play of the game. His name is Juju Smith-Schuster. So I'm just saying, that offensive team.
The
Listen,
No way he's going to mention
oh man, I'm having a. Listen, I'm trying, man. I'm trying to prop up the
shameless.
Patriots, but it ain't easy, man.
I hear it still. You gotta be optimistic.
yeah.
Me personally, I'm sticking. I'm going to the Bengals. I feel like if you include the offensive line, then yeah, I'm with Mohammed about the Philadelphia Eagles in it. But just pure weapon, you can't go wrong. Jamar Chase, T Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon.
Irv Smith now as
Like
well.
that's as good as you can get in terms of a number 1, 2, 3 receiver. So yeah, I feel like the Bengals, if the offensive line can hold up, for me, that should be the best unit. So
I feel like Irv Smith is gonna have a good season. I mean, I watched him for a couple of years at Minnesota, and he was injured from time to time. But
Yeah.
when he's bro, he can run routes so crisp. Obviously, he drops a few passes from time to time, but bro, he's a very solid player. I don't know if Joe Mixon's gonna be there because of all these off the field troubles and whatever's going on with him. But
that situation.
wide receiver wise, I mean, 1, 2, and 3. There's very, very few that can chat to them. If I'm trying to say, but it's crazy. All of these teams we're mentioning, most of them are from the AFC. Like most of these units we've mentioned. Are
Did you
from
guys?
the
Did you
AFC.
guys?
The
Make,
AFC's
Sorry.
say that again, Southland.
my bad. Have you guys mentioned Dallas Cowboys? I feel like them adding Brandon Cooks from Houston. No,
I don't really.
Hey,
I don't buy it.
hating aside, they got CD Lamb. They got Brandon Cooks. That's a very good tandem.
Like,
You got
it's a
you
decent.
got Gallup
It's,
as
it's,
well.
no,
Like,
no, do you know what it is?
obviously,
the
they
thing is,
lost.
The thing is,
Shorts, but
the thing is, everyone else you're mentioning 3 or 4 weapons. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like Brandon Cooks and CD Lamb, they're decent, but like, I mean, bro, we're talking about
Like CD Lamb's the only elite one of that unit.
I think
But
Tony
even
Pollard's
even
good,
him,
but like Zeke's gone, so you don't,
even
you know,
CD
you have to
Lamb, where
rely
would
on
you
him
rank
more.
him in wide receivers? You're not ranking him top 5, top 6, top 7, top 8.
Yeah.
So
No,
there's
you're
an
right,
argument. There's an argument.
I'll say top 10 on a good day.
yeah,
What argument for top 5?
nah, there's no way.
That's a very short argument.
There's no way.
Yeah, that's a very short argument.
There's no way.
Wait, who did he say top 5?
CD Lamb.
CD.
He said there's an
Oh,
argument.
listen.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, but I think about
Salad
Pete
knows
Rose.
who
I
did
don't
the
know.
top 5 wide
But nah, I
receivers
feel like-
last year, and I'm not getting involved in that. After what I said about Justin Jefferson, and he proved me wrong. So
Nah, bro.
Wait, what did he say
I
about
just said he
Justin
wasn't
He
in
said
the top
Justin
5
Jefferson's
just
not
yet.
top
I
5.
just said give him
Wait, when was that statement made? Like,
before the season started. I was mad at what he said about Jalen Hurts, so I tried to get back at him, and
No,
No, to be fair, that wasn't a terrible take.
No,
at the
I mean,
time.
bro,
I think
I
he,
mean,
I think
don't
looking back,
forget,
it was.
Justin Jefferson's first 2 years, he was like top 2 in receiving for 2 years straight. I mean, how can you not put him in the top 5 after 2 years? Obviously, now it's undisputed.
No, but I feel like it was debated. You could have debated top 5 at the start of the season. That was debatable. Obviously now, like you said, yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
silly now, but at the time it was like you could have made a
I
case.
think
for and
there's an
against, but now
undisputed
it's
number
like,
1 receiver in the
Defi-
NFL. I feel like like Devontae Adams is the undisputed number 1.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm
I'm
probably gonna say.
no, no.
just gonna say, yo, chill.
Nah, not just. I think Devontae Adams is the undisputed number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. I think there's certain positions that are undisputed, and that's
Like,
one of them.
poor guy's got Derek Carr, and now he's got Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback. So
Jimmy Garoppolo will find him though. Jimmy Garoppolo will find him.
oh, man.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that, Salad?
Hey, yo,
Jimmy
bro,
G.
yo, bro. He's back with the coach that drafted him, bro. I mean, like, there's a reason Jimmy G went to the Raiders specifically.
Listen, I'm
But
just
anyway,
telling you right now,
that
as
was-
someone who knows Josh McDaniels very well, I don't know if you wanna
He's not that
don't
guy.
hype up the Raiders, man. It's just gonna end badly for you. This is clipped now, so you know what I mean. Say Twitter, you can't just delete
Even
it.
that team, bro, has got some solid weapons. But anyway, yeah, I mean, almost done. Last couple points or last couple things. Who are your hardest divisions in the NFL?
It's got a bit of the
Oh,
North.
AFC North.
It's in North, no?
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
AFC North.
yeah. I mean,
I think it's
Bro, it's the
AFC
worst
East.
No, but the East, at least the East has some easy teams. No offense to the Patriots right now, but with the North, if the worst team, like, no offense, Mohammed did it. No offense, but at least that with the East, like the Patriots are
You
ready.
said no offense. I'm gonna let
You know
that.
what
I'm
I'm
gonna let
saying,
that slide.
Let it slide, did it? But with the North, I feel like the worst team on paper is quarterback by Deshaun Watson. That tells you all you need to know about the division. Do you know what I'm saying? I feel like the North is just it's a brutal division, and even the AFC West.
the
innit?
West. That's what I
Obviously,
think. I think it's
assuming Russell
between. I
Wilson
think it's
starts.
between them two.
No, that's only your hype.
I feel like,
We believed in the West hype last year. Let's not do it again, bro.
but the reason I won't say the West.
Nah,
is,
but I'm assuming Russell Wilson bounces back.
No, but even if Russell Wilson,
I was gonna quickly
whatever,
say-
whatever. Right? Go on.
Yeah, I was gonna quickly say the reason why I said AFC East. Listen, this is the Patriots proper side. Yeah, obviously you're gonna have to go to them, defense and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, you've got a good Jets team now. You've got a super Miami Dolphins team, and you've obviously got the Buffalo Bills, who are one of the favorites for the Super Bowl, which I hope they flop anyways, but they'll probably be up there. So you've got those 3 teams, right? And they have to go to a Bill Belichick defense, so that's going to be a bit tricky for them as well, regardless of how you feel about Mac Jones, which I don't feel too great about. And the other option I was thinking of was the NFC North, and that's only because I'm kind of in the back of my mind. I think the Chicago Bears will do something this year. I think it'll be the Vikings and the Lions at the top. No, just hear me out. Just hear me out. I think it'll be the Vikings and the Lions battling out for the NFC North crown. But I think the Bears, with the trades that they made and the way Justin Fields played last year, I don't want to just rule them out. Like, I won't say they're gonna win the North, but I think there's gonna be a bit of competition there. So you know, you
I'm gonna
guys
give
are
you advice.
laughing. You two NFC North guys are laughing. But when Justin Fields show up, it's gonna be peak.
Mohammed, I'm gonna give you advice. Rule them out. From now, rule them out. They're literally a team that, like you said, you're relying on Justin Fields' legs for the whole season, more or less. You don't know, like you know how Salah said, talking about Jalen Hurts saying he has to prove me something else, even though you don't want to put him in that superstar status. That's the same with Justin Fields. I need to see his arm. I know his arm was good at Georgia and Ohio State, but this is the NFL.
Stars, I think last year though, he come on, he had nothing, and he looked better than a lot of the quarterbacks in the NFL, right? And I think I listen. They're just in the back of my mind. I think what they've done in the draft and what they've done in free agency with those trades. I think they're not going to be as great as I'm not saying they're going to be great, but I'm saying the NFC North has a bit of, difficulty, and the East as well. But I'm going with AFC.
No, for me, it's pretty straightforward. I think it's the AFC North or the AFC West. The reason I won't go with the AFC West as much is because you expect Patrick Mahomes to win it every single year. Like, it's not. But whereas you go to the AFC North, is it going to be Lamar? Is it going to be Joe Burrow? Is it going to be Deshaun Watson? Is it going to be the Steelers? Obviously, they don't have a quarterback, but like, they're always a very good team.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin's not losing.
Yeah, they're always a good team. So that's, but it's just crazy the disparity in talent between the AFC and the NFC. Like the AFC, bro, if you're in that conference, there's no team's gonna give you an easy game, bro. The worst teams are obviously you've got Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans, but the only other not so good team is the New England Patriots, whose coach is Bill Belichick. Like, you're never gonna have anything easy there. No, I'm not even doing it.
He's not wrong.
Listen, guys. You know what it is? I stopped doing the Patriots hype after the Raiders game last year. If everyone remembers what happened to Mac Jones. So I listen about this. Chill with the Patriots, man. Listen, we got Bill O'Brien now. We'll be back, man.
Anyone that hires Matt Patricia as an offensive coordinator deserves a second, bro.
I didn't like that. Yeah, he's your boy. He's not my boy. He's your boy. You hired him as head coach.
Yeah,
Brother, I suffered, bro. I suffered for 5 years.
I think that's when the Lions started going downhill. You know, when you sacked what's his name? What's the name of your manager?
Caldwell. Is it Jim Caldwell?
Caldwell. And you replaced him with Matt Patricia after
Caldwell.
2 decent seasons. Yeah, Jim Caldwell. That was when it went downhill.
Jim Caldwell's my guy.
Yeah, that's when it all went downhill.
I think it's the same mistakes that the Panthers might be making as well, but we'll see. With Steve Wilkes.
With Steve Wilkes, sorry.
Yeah. I think it's going to be the same mistake, but we'll see how that goes.
Final point. Who is going to be your surprise player or your surprise quarterback of the year? In 2021, Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl. Last year, Jalen Hurts was the one that not many people expected to make that run. Not necessarily going to the Super Bowl, but which quarterback is going to have that breakout year this year?
Kenny Pickett, I think.
Like, for example, I hear what Mohammed's saying with Justin Fields, innit? Because they've given him weapons now. They've given him a decent offensive line now. So maybe this is the year that he takes that next step. So I see where he's not my pick, by the way. Don't get it twisted. I'm just saying I hear where you're coming from. You feel me?
Yeah. So I think Kenny Pickett is up there as well in the back of my mind. But from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett's the shot. So
fair.
I feel like he'll take from this field. Like me personally, my pick, like I mentioned earlier, it's still Deshaun Watson for me. I feel like, now he's had a full season. Obviously he's had training camp. Yeah, I feel like he's gonna remind people like who he actually was before all that situation. So I feel like he'll probably surprise people the most. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but if they do, I wouldn't be surprised.
For me, I'm going Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence isn't. No, but the reason I say that is when Trevor Lawrence was coming out, they were talking about him as if, like, they were saying best quarterback prospect since Andrew Luck, for example. He hasn't really reached that level yet. I feel like this season could be the year that Trevor Lawrence breaks into the top 5, and it's not questionable because he's not there yet. You know what I'm trying to say? Like there's quarterbacks that are significantly better than him. He's not Lamar, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, etc., etc. So I feel like this is the year that he goes into that conversation. That would be my pick.
We'll see him in London as well. Speaking of Lamar and Trevor Lawrence, so I get to see in person how good he is. So yeah, I can't believe Lamar's coming to London.
Yo, you know, seeing plays in real life, it shows you something for real. You know, because I remember I watched Zach Wilson in real life, and I was like, yeah, this guy's not going to be good. I remember tweeting it. Wallahi, I remember tweeting it after that game. I was like, yeah, this guy's just not going to be that good.
I saw Saquon.
You can just
Salad. I saw Saquon last year, and bro, that guy is bro. His thighs are bigger than my head, and I got a big head, bro. Like crazy.
It's a shame them injuries have ruined his career. But Saquon is a talent. I've got another one, but it's almost like the opposite. I feel like he won't be as good as people think.
Russell Wilson.
I feel like Aaron Rodgers. Nah. I feel like Aaron Rodgers might. I don't want to say disappoint, but I feel like there's the possibility he might not be as good as people think. Like, I feel like they should make the playoffs, but he might not be as good as people think.
Jalala, what a wise man once said, man, what can go wrong will go wrong, man. It's the Jets, bro. 60 years of bro.
You're right. Since Joe Namath, the big person.
Our parents weren't even born when the last time the Jets won the Super Bowl. Like, I mean, come on, who's doing?
Oh, you say the same thing about the Lions, man.
Yeah, the Lions.
But for me, I don't think I've said mine yet.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's Jared Goff. You know, I think he's gonna make that jump finally that people have anticipated from the Rams. Like, I feel like, especially with the Lions as well, the one thing I'm definitely looking forward to is the fact that we've kept our offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson. He had a lot of coaching gigs that teams wanted him. And just the addition of Jahmyr Gibbs, I think that's going to open up the playbook and everything for him. And 1 year under the belt now of us actually being a very good offensive team.
And also, bro, like I'm a fan of old school football, innit? The reason I think the Lions will always be a good team is because they have a top 2, top 3 offensive line in the NFL. You know what I'm trying to say? So even if you're a terrible quarterback, if you have 6-7 seconds to process and pass the ball, like, someone will get open, and you're an NFL level quarterback, you'll make the play. You know what I'm trying to say? And Jared Goff has a very, very good deep ball. He's very accurate down the field. Like, Jared Goff's a good quarterback. We saw it, bro. Like, Jared Goff's a solid quarterback. Like, but yeah, that's not a bad shout.
Yeah,
It all depends for me.
I was going to quickly say, I mentioned Kenny Pickett, but I'm going to stick with Justin Fields just to prove you guys wrong at the end of the season.
No, I agree with you, Mohammed. Yeah. I think Justin Fields will have I feel like they'll put pieces around him. So I feel like he will have a breakout year this year as well.
But don't you think it's like a little it's a do or die situation for him, though? Because, like, okay, now you've got everything you need. Like, show us something, or, you know what I'm trying to say, or, like, we're gonna try and go in another direction. Don't you?
I feel like they'll give him a couple seasons.
I think he'll get 2 seasons. I don't see after
Fair.
2 seasons, and then maybe we'll see.
Personally, I think they're gonna regret not taking Bryce.
I hope Kyler Murray.
But at the same time, like, then you'd have to just restart the whole thing again. I think Justin Fields is a good quarterback that just needed some help. I just think if you bring in Bryce Young, or if they went for CJ Stroud, I mean, they probably would have gone for Bryce because they were number 1 overall pick. If you go for him, all that ammunition that you got from that trade is no longer there. So your team is much weaker than it is with Justin Fields and those additional picks and the trades that they made. So sometimes you can't just go for the number 1 overall pick if you don't have everything else set up. Otherwise, you're just setting yourself back a couple years. You're resetting the rookie contract, but people in Chicago, man, like, I don't think they want to have to go for another quarterback again.
That makes sense.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Go for it.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a weird one. Who's a gem in this rookie? Whatever team. Who have you got your eye on, regardless if he plays for your team or not?
Jigba.
Yeah.
For me, it's Josh Downs. So he was at North Carolina. Obviously, the Colts picked him up in the 3rd round. Like, he's small and he's 5'10", but if you watch his film, he plays like he's 6'5", going up for jump balls and that. But he's a little guy. So I'm quite intrigued to see how he pans out. So Josh Downs is definitely one to watch out for.
I'm surprised we haven't, of all the rookies, we haven't mentioned Nolan Smith or Jalen Carr. But I think the fact that they're going into that Philadelphia Eagles team is going to be a massive plus for them, like to start their careers. Like it's easy to fit in for them.
It's a cheat
Yeah.
code.
No, this was a good. This was a
Daylight
very
robbery,
very
man.
good draft class, man. Like I feel like it's the one draft class you can look at, and it's like everyone in the first round like has tremendous upside. Like there's no one that took a risk. Like everyone done what they were supposed to do. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not like some drafts you'd be like, oh, that's an interesting pick. I don't think anyone made an interesting pick. I feel like the most interesting thing was the Texans deciding to go back to back. You feel me? And they got number one, like one of the best defensive players, and obviously
I won't lie though. I won't lie though. The Lions draft, I think like if we all had done it before a mock draft before the initial draft started, I don't think we would have. I don't think they would have gone a running back. Like they got Jameer Gibbs, which is a good pickup, but I didn't see them getting that. I thought they would go cornerback to replace Jeff Okudah.
I was watching a lot of like Lions film and all that stuff, and like the beat writers and everyone talking about it. I think they had their eyes set on Devin Witherspoon,
Yeah.
and the moment that went, they were like, you know what, everything's open to play for, really. Because I don't think I even watching, reading the beat writers and everyone talk about it, they weren't fans of Christian Gonzalez as much. Because we had near enough three stabs at Christian Gonzalez before we picked up Jack Campbell. Like, so I knew Christian Gonzalez wasn't the cornerback.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, it makes sense. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming and joining me on my first episode of the Sports Room. It means a lot. Obviously, we had a few technical difficulties. We had to go and start again and all of them things there, the echoes and stuff like that. So I really appreciate your patience. Thank you for watching the Sports Room. If you enjoyed that, make sure you like, subscribe, and press the notification bell so you know the next time we upload. See you soon.